It might have been a long time since we've done one of these, but it is time to bring rebuilds back to the channel, and we're going to be kicking off with our first rebuild today, and we're going to be taking over at Newcastle United. But that's not the only thing. We're going to be rebuilding Newcastle United without financial fair play. Newcastle are one of the richest clubs in the world, if not the richest club in the world, due to them having mega rich owners. But unlike Manchester City, when they got taken over by their owners, Newcastle can't just spend whatever they want due to financial fair play. Well, thanks to FC25, financial fair play's gone completely out the window, and we're going to be able to run wild here with this Newcastle team in the rebuild. Now, if you're new to the channel, smash subscribe, hit the like button, get yourselves a beverage, let me know that you enjoyed the first rebuild. I've got plenty of them planned, and let's get into this save. So starting things off, we're going to have the transfer window open at Legendary, but I'm giving me a financial takeover because obviously Newcastle in the game don't have a budget that reflects the actual money that they have. Also, Newcastle didn't really do that much business in this window. The biggest signing that they went in for, who we might get in this rebuild, they didn't manage to pull off. So I think we deserve the extra money. Apart from that, none of the rest of this really matters. Apart from now, we can't be sacked. Now, just to warn you guys, I am going to be pretty ruthless in this rebuild. If someone's your favorite player, don't get butthurt. They're probably not going to be here anymore. Now, this is the formation I'm deciding to play here with Newcastle. We're going 4-4-2. 2 CDMs, 2 wingers, well, an inside forward and a winger, and then the fullbacks, because this is what I think our best 11 is. It's pretty good. It definitely needs improvements. I'm looking at left back. I'm looking at right winger. I'm also looking at Tino, but I do like the opportunity of giving him 1 season. Fabian Schär is 32. He's going to need replacing, but we've got a young midfield, and I probably need someone better than Callum Wilson. So let's get ourselves into this transfer market and start making some deals happen for Newcastle. So after looking at this Newcastle squad, it's pretty horrendous. How is this team? Look, they might be different in real life. I get it. They've had some glory. They've had Champions League football. I get it. But the team in game, if you're a Newcastle fan, this team is horrendous. One is, it's really old. There is some need for huge replacement. But look at this. I've never had to list this many players. Now, granted, some of them are loans. I'm getting rid of Murphy. Had enough of that Hayden. I have no loyalties to no one. Lascelles is going. Dan Burns going because he's only 78 rated at 32. We want to be a Champions League football club. But wow. The Newcastle squad, it needs a lot of work right now. And I got to work straight away then with a position we don't even really need at centre-back. But this is a man that Newcastle really wanted in real life, in Mark Gahey. And you know what? When you guys want something in real life, I make dreams come true and I make dreams happen. Mark Gahey is a Newcastle United player. I know that sucks if you're a Palace fan, but there he is in the kit. And he's easily going to be the first of many. And guess what? We got it done for 35 million. I remember there was 60 million being thrown around in the media. I come in, 35 million. Mark Gahey is the first signing. After Gahey, I made the decision that let's fix the right-hand side. And this man deserves to be at a team that's playing Champions League football. And that is our goal by the end of this season. So I've gone out, I've splashed the cash. I say splash again, about 35 million here for Jared Bowen to bring him into the club. Absolute pennies in the grand scheme of the 280 million pound we have to spend. But the right-hand side now is going to look a lot better with this man on it. And already then, before even advancing one day forward, this Newcastle squad looks a hell of a lot better. I am retraining Harvey Barnes to play as right mid as well. So we'll have Bowen and Barnes as our right mids. Almiron, I will train there, but I'm probably going to let him go. We don't have a backup, though, in that situation then for Gordon. So maybe that's something we do in the window. But yeah, this just looks a hell of a lot better already. Next, walking through the door then is a man that is going to secure the left-hand side and be our left back this season. And the fact that Hincapié can also play centre-back if needed as well as left-back just makes this deal even more. Look how happy Eddie Howe is since we've taken over as chairman of Newcastle. He's loving life. 45 million. Well, we needed a strike partner for Alexander Isak, and why not spend 85 million on him? We're going to be signing Lewis Openda. He's absolutely rapid. He's a beast. Look, if you know, you know. He is an absolute beast on this game. 85 overall. This is probably the biggest spend that we will have in this window by far. Look, I can't get over how happy Eddie Howe looks. all of a sudden admiring these new players that have come in and thinking, man, I might actually win the league this year. Our new number 11, Lewis Openda, joining the club. And wow, does this team look good now. We have so many 80 overalls in the team, 2 85s up top, Gordon, Bowen, Tonali. I think this is the team we're going to take forward for this season. There is still way too many bodies on this squad for me to really go out there and just sign a ton more players. I have to get so many players off the books here at Newcastle in order for me to bring in more players. So I think our backup striker being Wilson this year, that is absolutely fine. Barnes, Almiron, we have players who can cover the wings in cup games. We have Hall who could grow and play at left back. So I actually think that this team, as it stands right now, is going to be the team that we take into the season. Now, I might have thought my window was done with Newcastle, but we've got a pretty reasonable bid for Callum Wilson for 18 million. And yeah, I said he was going to be our backup this season, but I don't think we're going to get more than 18 million anytime soon. So I'm going to actually let him go to Crystal Palace and we'll sign a backup striker. And the backup striker we've gone in for is none other than Brian Brobby. 22, young wonder kid from Ajax, 79 overall. I think that's actually an upgrade on the Callum Wilson situation. Now, I think as we have 1 month still left of this window, we're starting to get players out, but I think that is us done for this transfer window, I think. Here we are then at the end of our first season with Newcastle. Now, I'm just going to state this straight away. God, does this game take a while. I'm sat down now. I was stood up before. This game takes a while to sim. But let's see how we've got on at Newcastle. Oh, it kind of spoils it straight away. The league standings are saying that we're second in the league. We're back in the Champions League here in Season 1. And we only missed out from the Premier League title by 2 points, boys. Like, literally, 2 points stopped us from winning the Premier League. Who goes down this season? Ipswich, Leicester, Everton. That's quite realistic. I would maybe swap one of them out for Southampton, maybe Leicester. I don't know what's going to happen yet, but that is a pretty realistic table here with the sim, apart from Tottenham being 9th. That's not going to happen. Arsenal 8th as well. Okay, so as you climb up the table, it gets less and less realistic. But Newcastle will have Champions League football again. Now, let's see who's performed well this season. Our top goal scorer will be Openda and Isaac. Joint same amount of games, joint same amount of goals, just 2 more assists for Isaac. That is fantastic, and those are probably the key pieces on why we had such a good season. Bowen comes in, has 8 goals, 6 assists. Gordon, 7 goals, 6 assists. So it's good to see those two performing well. Gordon now an 84 overall. Tonali had a good year at 87. Almiron got quite a bit of game time this year, 5 and 2. I kept him as rotation. Bruno's done all right. What is a little bit worrying, Gahey didn't start every game, which is frustrating. At 82, I'm hoping that will change this next season. I would have liked to see Harvey Barnes play a bit more. Only 10 games in Cappy there. He had a really good year. I need to convert him to left back. But the biggest worry for me is Brian Brobby. He's gone up to 80, but no game time. And I think it is probably because of the way I've set up. I did a video on this, but the way I've set up the fitness and the sharpness, I think I've set it up to be too good that your first team's just ready to bang all the time. Your first team's just ready to go near enough all the time. By the time we got to another game, this first team would be ready to play. So because of that, it is meaning that the team isn't being rotated as much as I would like. Also, after some looking, it looks like Trippier played the majority of this season at right back and not Livramento. But we are at the end of the season. I'm happy with the team. Let's now build a team that can perform in the Champions League as well, because then rotation might be needed. Let's look at the standings actually, and let's see, did we win any cups? We did not win the FA Cup. In fact, we didn't make it far at all. Man City won that. And we did not win the Carabao Cup. Man City won that. So they still do a double this year. We did make it to the semi-final, losing 3-2 on aggregate to Aston Villa, and then Aston Villa losing to Man City. But I don't really care about the cup competitions this season or in any of the other seasons. I want to do well in the Champions League, and I want to do well in the league. So let's get to the next year. We're going to kick off the new season the only way right. And that is with a huge signing, and that huge signing is Leroy Sané, back in the Champions League this year for Newcastle. I feel like this guy is an absolute worldie. He's a beast, so it made sense to put him in the team. I'm just going to continuously make Eddie Howe happy while I am here. Gerard Bowen will now be back up, or will rotate the two of them. Sané is just an unreal player. He's really good talent. He's top quality, and he's going to be great for us. Now, I've made some really big decisions when it comes to the transfer list this season, but we just have to take it up another level. I think the team was so close last year and has continued to grow. We could easily win the Premier League this season, or even the Champions League at the first time of asking it. That's the kind of squad we're trying to build here. We're trying to wrap this one up quickly. So Fabian Schär, I'm sorry, he's digressed quite a bit. He's up there. Almiron is up there as well, because obviously now we have our two right-sided players. And I'm going to be honest with you boys. When we look at this 11, there ain't that much to do. I still think Livramento will get better. I still think Gahey will get better. Hincapié will get better. Gordon will get better. Isaac 87. Openda 88. Nearly one of the best in the world. Tonali's 87. Guimaraes is 86. Like, this team right here, if we can keep them fit, I think we'll perform really well this season. So, I mean, I know it's a rebuild, but I still want to get a few bodies out now and potentially see where the squad is in a couple of weeks. But I think this could be it. This could be the team for season number 2 that just goes in and does it. But I have got a lot of money, so it is tempting to go and sign another centre-back. But I just want to see how they do this year. Now, before we go ahead and just start simming the entire season, obviously Champions League football, I want to see who we've got. Young boys, Napoli are going to be one of the teams. AEK Athens. Okay, so they're a... Oh, wow. They're a really winnable games for us here at Newcastle. Maybe Barcelona. That would be a very good clash. That one's going to be around Christmas time. And then we round off with PSV and PSG. But you would hope by the end of the PSV game, we are through to the knockout stages. So at the halfway stage then, we're currently 4th, and we are in a title race. It is very close. There's a good gap between us and Aston Villa as well, but I want to know if we made it through to the next round of the Champions League. Oh, we did, and we did very successfully. I saw that we lost to PSG, so I was panicking about this, but we actually finished a couple of spots behind them and PSV, both teams having good times. But yeah, we're through to the knockout stages. We're going to be given quite a nice draw as well for the next round of the Champions League against Porto. But let's get to the end of the season. Let's see how we got on. So we're back here at the end of the season, and I've just been glancing at what's been going on in the background while doing other stuff. And this has not been a good sim. Lose to Villa. We lose to Man City. We draw to Brighton. We draw to Nottingham Forest. We lose to Liverpool. We lose to Palace. We lose to West Ham. We lose to Arsenal. We had the worst end to a season you could imagine. And it gets worse when you think I definitely underestimated Porto. He beat us 5-3 on aggregate. They beat us in both legs. We did not manage to go through. I thought it was a favourable draw, but it does look like European football, Champions League football has hindered us a little bit, but we do manage to finish 3rd in the league. It was tight. It was close. It was there by a point, really, in reality. Our goal difference wasn't better than some of the other sides, so we needed that damn 1 point. God, did we need that last win at the end of the season. We're going to have to go and start building the team just a little bit more aggressively into the next season. Now, when it comes to the stats, we weren't as fluid this last season. Luis Openda had another great year, 28 goals, 5 assists, and it wasn't as good a goal-scoring season for Isaac, but he does have 15 assists. Like, he was very impactful going forward. Leroy Sané comes in and he's the 3rd top goal scorer with 10 goals and 5 assists. Guimaraes is up there. Gordon is then at 86 for Gordon, 90 for Isaac, 90 for Openda. Like, this team is pretty godly. Why the hell, though, has Kieran Trippier played 42 games of football? That he's played more games than Livramento. It makes absolutely no sense. I'm going to have to sell him. Do you know what? We're probably going to sign a new right back anyway. And get rid of Trippier and sign a new right back. Hincapié had a good year. He's gone up to 84. Tonali up to 88. You know, all round this team is a very strong team. Did Brobby get any get? Brobby just don't play football for us. He cannot get in the team. Does Gahey go up? 83. So I think some of those players are going to have to now become rotation players. Season number 3, in my head, is going to be a very big season. We are not messing about this season. There is no faff now, lads. We are going for this full steam ahead with this rebuild. And the first signing, as you can see on your screen, is going to be Trent Alexander-Arnold. And coming in right behind him for a whopping combined £200 million, and easily the biggest signing of this window and of this series and this rebuild so far is Alexandre Bastoni from Inter Milan. And boy, does that give a huge boost to our starting 11. Those two players are absolute gods. They're just right behind the best players in the team. Isaac 90, Openda 90, Sane and Gordon. So I am looking at the wings right now as potential places to improve, and the goalkeeper, if I'm being honest. But Trent and Bastoni, man, they are huge signings. We have okay backups in all positions now going into this third season. Right, okay backups is what I should say, definitely. Even up top, we've got a decent backup. I don't know. I'm low-key tempted just to see how this team does. I think we had a bad year last year. And these two changes, I mean, second year back in the Champions League, I think we can do a good job. All right, boys, we've come back at the halfway stage to see how things was going on in the Champions League. And oh my God, we're third. We are third. I think the changes are working. We are yet to lose in the Champions League this season. Have they worked in the Premier League, though? That's the big question. We are second in the Premier League, neck and neck at the top of the table. Only 2 defeats this season. I think these two signings have been fantastic for us. I've come back at January just in case I needed to bring anybody else in, but I'm just going to sim now to the end of the season and see how this team got on. We have hit the end of season. Now, although this final month looks very good, I can already see that we are not in a Champions League final. Let's see how far we got. Wow, Atletico Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen are the Champions League final. Did we make a semi? We did not. Surely we made it to the quarters. We did not. Where the hell did we get knocked out? The round of 16 again. No, we went through. Hang on a second. Where are we? Oh, okay. No. We got knocked out by Real Madrid. I am a blind man. Real Madrid knocked us out. That's such a shame as well. It was 4-3, 2-0 in the away leg. I mean, Bayern Munich and Real Madrid, what luck could you get there if you're a Newcastle fan? You play Bayern Munich, you get past them, and you get Real Madrid. Okay, so we did not make it to the final. What about Carabao Cup? Again, no luck in the Carabao Cup. We did nothing. We were knocked out by Manchester United, who are eventual winners. So I'll take that as a win. The FA Cup, I'm pretty sure we'd have seen that. No, West Ham v Chelsea. Wow, Salford City got far. What the hell happened with them? Where were we? We actually got knocked out by Salford City. 3-1. Okay. No trophy still here then in season number 3 at this point. Is that going to turn around in the Premier League, which would be the big one for Newcastle at this stage? Have we won the Premier League in season number 3? We have. We've won the Premier League. We've won the Premier League and we've won it comfortably. We only lost 4 times, 9 draws, 25 wins. Newcastle have won a Premier League trophy, boys. Can you believe it? Kevin Keegan would be loving it. Now, let's see how the squad got on this season. We performed well. The fact that you can't see where you're looking to select is really frustrating. But Isaac, my guy, what a season. Both 91 now. Openda and Isaac, 27 and 2 for him. But we needed the breakout year from Alexander. We really did. 91, man. And 36 goals, 11 assists. Gordon's up there. He's 89 now. Leroy Sané, 86. So I think if we were approving an attacking position, it would probably be the right side of midfield. Trent, you are great. You are fantastic. 16 bloody assists this season for Trent. What a signing he's been. He's currently injured. Harvey Barnes played a few games, 29. He's been a backup this entire time. Bowen has been a backup, but maybe it's time for Leroy to become the backup. I mean, he's getting on a little bit. And we go for a right mid. Hincapié goes up to 85 this season. Livramento still only 83. If he'd have progressed a bit quicker, we would have kept him in the team more. Tonali, Guimaraes, Brobby, Nick Pope, Botman. Has anybody else really made any surprising changes in terms of that overall? I'm not seeing it. Gahey still 83. So no, I think that was a good season, and I'm not going to end it here. I would like to do one more season. I think an upgrade on the right hand side is probably all I could ask for. I could maybe upgrade at goalkeeper, but at 86 there's not much more you can really do. Maybe a CDM. I'm going to shop around a little bit, but I think we're going to struggle to find higher ratings Whereas on the right wing, I'll definitely find a player that's a higher rating. So I think the right wing and have Sane be backup is probably what I'm going to do. We weren't that far off this season. At the end of the day, we had a really difficult draw in the Champions League. I want to go one more year and I want to see what I can do with the team. So at the start of this 4th season, there's only one player that I've highlighted that I would really like to bring in, and that was Bukayo Saka. Now, I would have to sell a bunch of players in order to be able to afford Saka, and I can't afford him. I still haven't even been able to offload enough in terms of the finances, because when I go in and try and negotiate, they want around 140 million, 130 million, and we don't have that in the bank right now. Can you believe Newcastle are this skin? And it has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that I accidentally forgot to re-sign Anthony Gordon to a new contract, so he left to Bournemouth, and I had to spend 140 million to bring him back to the club. This will be the team for this final season, and season number 4. This team is still strong enough. I've got every faith that this squad can go ahead and win a Champions League. So we're at the halfway stage then, and once again, we are sitting neck and neck at the top of the Premier League. This time with Manchester City, but it's not really the Premier League I'm trying to win this year. Let's see where we are in the Champions League right now. Let's see if we made it out of the Champions League. We do, and we finished 3rd. And look, finishing top of that group means absolutely nothing, but the fact that we finish 3rd does mean that we don't have to play an extra round. Let's advance forward now, though, and then just get to the point where we can see who we're playing in the knockout stages. We have our Champions League draw then. We are going to be taking on Monaco, and I'm going to be quick simming these from now on. I want to see how we get on. I'm going to bring Gahey into the team, but apart from that, it's a familiar 11. This team is very, very good. And I would expect against Monaco that we could breeze by, but we're not going to breeze by. It's going to be 2-2 in the first leg away. Isaac and Sane with goal. Here we go then with the second leg. Same 11. Surely we can go through. What are we doing, Newcastle? Kingsley Coman scores for them. Openda opened the scoring for us. We're going to lose again in the sim. There will be no Champions League for Newcastle in this rebuild. We do, however, go on to win the Premier League in what is a low point scoring season. 78 points we win it with, pretty comfortably. Top goal scorer was Isaac again, Openda right up there, but this year Gordon comes back, 91. He's been a beast. Do you know what, boys? I don't care. I was only going to do 4 seasons. I'm doing one more season. We're signing Saka. Season 5 starts with an absolute bang then. I said we were going to do it, and we've done it. 130 million for Bukayo Saka, and I ain't even bothered about it. Eddie Howe is happy as per usual. This year we might even go for a double. We might try and win the Premier League and the Champions League. The main focus is the Champions League, though, and this man coming in is going to help us achieve our goal. Saka's not going to be the only signing, though. We've let Joe Linton leave the club, so I've gone in for Morten Hulmund as the backup. This guy is an absolute beast. He's got a right engine at CDM, and will just be a workhorse there for us, and a fantastic backup with unreal stamina. He should be able to just keep going all season long. But that's it. This is definitely the final season. The last year was meant to be. This one definitely is. Let's see how we are at the halfway stage, and hopefully who we've got in the knockout stages. Here we are then at the halfway stage, and in the Premier League, we are top, 2 points clear, Man City behind us. I'm kind of expecting that. Could it be a three-peat in the Premier League? We're kind of building a great foundation, but the Champions League is what is important to me this time round. And hang on, that's the playoff. We finished 11th. Wow, for the first time, we're going to have to do the playoff. Also, I have to say, we're in the Carabao Cup final. I mean, this is fantastic news. We could be on for more than one trophy. As things stand right now, we're on for the quad. Or maybe not, as Ipswich Town just knocked us out of the FA Cup for free. I spoke too soon. We are going to win 1-0 in the first leg, though, of the round of 16 of the Champions League. It all comes down to this, then. Why every time I play these games is Sven Botman absolutely knackered? Gahey's tired as well. I'm going to play Gahey. I do not care. This 11 should be more than good enough. Let's quick sim this game. Oh, my God. We go through. We go through, lads, to the next round. Oh, man. Chelsea, Arsenal, then Real Madrid in the next round. And then after the Real Madrid game, we play Master Jesus. This is a tough run. Here we go then, lads. It's time for the first leg. This will be the 11. Very, very strong. It's our main team. Please, sim, gods, free. This was the home game. Isaac, Bastoni, Rodrigo scoring for them. Wow, he scored all three, and Saka scoring. That was the home game. I have to hope now the away game goes in my favor. I do not understand our luck, though. All we've drawn is the bigger sides when it comes to this competition as we get deeper into it. Well, that's all we do. We just play against the best sides. Bayern Munich and Real Madrid so far. We're going to hit the quick sim. This is the rebuild right here. And we lose 3-1. And for the second time in a row, it was in extra time as well. We are going to be knocked out by Real Madrid. Now, we might not have beaten Real Madrid. We might be out of the Champions League, but this is an opportunity to build a dynasty here. We are on for a 3P in the Premier League, and we have the opportunity right here to beat Manchester City for the EFL Cup that we don't have yet. Man, we have such a strong 11. We're gonna win it. We're going to win our first trophy of the season. Gordon with a brace and a Pender scoring. We've got even more good news as well, as Alexander Isak here at the end of the season is going to win the Premier League Player of the Year. But it's not all good news. We're not going to do a 3P. Arsenal are going to win the Premier League. And we actually ended up finishing third after a pretty poor end to the season. Only 4 points off of Arsenal, but the dynasty was not built. Do you know what's insane? How good this squad is and how not little I've won, because I've won 2 Premier Leagues and a Carabao Cup. But the simulation hasn't exactly been very kind to me. I feel like we should have won more. We look at the stats for this year, though. For the first time, Openda scores more goals than Isaac. 93 overall. 93 overall for Isaac. Maybe it was the tactic. Gordon right up there. Well, 19 assists for Isaac. 21 goals, 12 assists. Sane had an unbelievable year. Now, here is the problem, right? You'll see Sane played more than Saka, and I think this was the problem in the long run with this season and it feeling very much the same as the other seasons. Saka wasn't being played, at least not consistently, and I'd probably put that down to him technically being a right winger that can play right midfield instead of being a right midfielder, and that's why Leroy Sane played most of the games. And it's not for lack of trying for making Saka a right midfielder, but let's be honest, lads, it's his secondary damn position, and it takes about 102 weeks to change him to a right midfielder. It is so stupid that this is still an issue that we have in the game, but I do believe if Saka would have actually played this year instead of being on the bench, we maybe would have had some different results. But I just wanted to point out that that happened this season, and that might be why we've just seen a repeat of the years before. But I'm pretty happy for our first rebuild to have won the Premier League twice and to have won the Carabao Cup. I do think we've built a monster of a team here at Newcastle, and if we just kept on going, we'd win more and more, especially when Saka was retrained to play right midfielder. I really wanted to commit and stick to the 4-4-2 in this rebuild, and I'm glad I did it. I enjoyed it. Not every rebuild that we do on the channel is going to end with Champions League. It's just going to end up with us creating a team that's successful, and this Newcastle side definitely was winning their first 2 Premier Leagues. That is absolutely huge. 2 of them back-to-back as well. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I really enjoyed this squad. There's a few niggly things I've learned about the game doing this first rebuild as well, which I'll take into the next rebuild. But thank you very much for the support. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave feedback of names for other teams and different challenge rebuilds we should do this year. I am so excited to get on board with doing some rebuilds. I will see you for the next episode, most likely, of the Tottenham series. And if you haven't seen that, make sure you start watching it.